Tonight, days after the U.S. convicted former Tema Oil Refinery boss Asante Kwaku Berko for bribery, EOCO says it has been ordered to secure U.S. records and launch a full asset recovery, targeting proceeds and property of officials linked to the 2014 AKSA power deal signed during Dumsor amidst CSOs' pressure for full disclosure.
We were in a hurry to push for its renewal, and it got done.
We cannot continue to work with people who have been indicted for bribery. This contract needs to be reviewed.
Top story is brought to you by Telecel. Connecting Energy's Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil. Enjoy a holy sleep. Shield Pension Trust into the future with you. When returned from the break, we speak to the lawyers of former Power Minister Kwabena Donkor, who have denied any link to the multi-million-dollar bribery case. We also go to Parliament and speak to the Energy Committee and engage CSOs as well. Don't go anywhere.
If I become a millionaire, I will put a huge billboard right next to my ex's house saying, "Look at me now, I hate it."
As for me, I'm quitting my job in Star. Mr. hate it.
Telecel is making millionaires this season. Not one, not two, but 3 millionaires. Each month, one lucky Telecel customer wins 1 million Ghana cedi for the next 3 months in the Telecel Mahetse promo. Plus, you still get to win 20,000 Ghana cedis weekly, and 100 Ghana cedis daily. Bundle 10 Ghana cedis. Time or data, top up your Telecel cash wallet or your fixed broadband to stand a chance of winning. Visit the Telecel player or dial *500# to opt in for free into the Telecel Mahetse promo.
Telecel, connecting energies.
This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, me da with holy insecticide spray.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Ghana Kron Kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
Cover everything will cover. You and all you love. You and all you love. Cover. Everything will cover. You and all you love. Cover. You and everything you love. I'll cover you. All insurance covers your home, car, business and assets. You and everything you love. Allah covers you and everyone you love. Allah covers you.
Hollard, we cover you.
Syntax Tango.
Syntax, hey, tough, hey, strong. If you want quality, this be where you belong. Syntax, hey, tough, hey, strong. Oh, gonna shout, sing the song. When the sun they hot, Syntax no break. When the rain they fall, still no shake. Builders they choose and plumbers they prove. Any project you they start.
This is Top Story. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi. Days after the United States of America convicted former Tema Oil Refinery boss Asante Kwaku Berko for bribing Ghanaian officials, EOCO says it has been directed to obtain U.S. evidence and pursue the recovery of proceeds, benefits, and assets from officials implicated in the 2014 AKSA power deal struck during the Dumsor crisis. EOCO revealed it received a request from U.S. authorities last year seeking information on specific individuals in Ghana, including what it described as a former Minister of State and public servants. EOCO says tracing and seizing any proceeds, benefits, or property tied to suspected criminal conduct is now an integral part of its plan. However, the office stressed that Berko's U.S. conviction does not automatically implicate anyone in Ghana and that any individual named in the evidence will face independent scrutiny under Ghanaian law. We'll get details of the statement. But before that, EOCO completes its investigation. We've been hearing from civil society organizations who are already demanding accountability from the government. Africa Center for Energy Policy Executive Director Ben Boache and Transparency International Ghana Executive Director Mary Ada has called for full disclosure of the AKSA deal.
The renewal was also another story. I mean, if you go through how it happened, you know, how ministers really pushed for those renewals to happen. And let me tell you this, if you look at the whole 5-year period that AKSA actually operated in Ghana, you check the record, the data is there, an Energy Commission's data. The money that we paid for the fixed charges, AKSA was deployed 16% of its capacity for that period. So what it means is that we essentially paid for the plant to be idle for much of its existence in Ghana over that period. And yet, we were in a hurry to push for its renewal, and it got done. So your guess is as good as mine how that actually played out.
It's really sad that we are continuing to treat this issue without bringing to attention the fact that we cannot continue to work with people who have been cited for bribery. Not just cited, in fact, indicted for bribery. This contract needs to be reviewed.
Head of Research at Joy News, Isaac Ofieje, has been breaking down how the bribe money were distributed.
First disbursement came on it came in April 2015, $500,000. The next disbursement was $1.5 million that came in May 2015. And the report says that, the court documents also indicate that each of the 5 officials who flew to Turkey for the plant inspection were paid $5,000 each on top of flights and hotel, fees. Now, let's look at the institutions or individuals who were actually mentioned in the the court document in terms of where the money went to. Public Utilities Regulator (PURC), according to the court document, was paid $20 million US dollars. A named Ghanaian official was also paid $10 million. And now Ministry of Power Girls were paid 20,000 Ghana cedis, according to the the court document. They were Ministry of Power staff. And Power Team were paid $25,000. Gridco Engineers $20,000. Parliament $30,000. And in fact, if you look at the travel visas for Turkey trip, that was about $45,000, so about $50,000. The court document also mentions the relative of the president, who was associated with the company, fake company One, in which in one of the draft emails an outstanding balance of $2 million was being discussed with the said relative of the president, John Dramani Mahama.
So already there have been 2 statements on this bribery scandal, one from EOCO, the other from lawyers for former Power Minister Kwabena Donkor, who was minister in 2014. Actually, let's start with EOCO, and my colleague Gemma Appiah is joining me in the studio with more. Gemma, what does the EOCO statement say?
So EOCO says consistently with its statutory mandate, asset tracing and recovery form an integral part of its investigative plan in this matter. So the office will examine whether any proceeds, benefits, assets or property may have been derived from or connected to suspected criminal conduct, and where the law permits, pursue the appropriate measures for their preservation, recovery and restitution to the state. The office also intends to follow the evidence and financial trail, including any relevant transactions, beneficiaries, assets and proceeds that may fall within its jurisdiction. EOCO further assured the public that its collaboration with U.S. law enforcement authorities and the AG's office remains active. Lawful international cooperation is critical to ensuring that any Ghanaian investigation is comprehensive evidence-based and capable of producing a lawful outcome.
And lawyers for the former Power Minister Kwabena Donkor, as I mentioned earlier, have also issued a statement disassociating him from the bribery allegations that took place during his tenure. Gemma, what did the former Power Minister say was his role in the AKSA energy deal?
So the lawyers say that Dr. Kwabena Donkor acknowledges that he was the relevant minister at the time and confirms that the state, through the Ministry of Power under his leadership, negotiated with AKSA Energy to generate electricity for Ghana during a severe power crisis we all termed as Dumsor. Ken.
Thank you very much, Gemma. You're still listening to Top Story here on Joy 99.7 FM. Collins Adumakomensa is the Deputy Ranking Member on the Energy Committee. John Osai Kwapon is the Democracy and Development Fellow with CDD Ghana. Martin Pebu is a private legal practitioner. Katie Hammond is lawyer for Kwabena Donkor. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time this evening. I want to begin with a lawyer for Kwabena Donkor, Katie Hammond. Welcome to the program. We understand we do not have him at the moment, but let's start with John Osai Kwapon, who is a Democracy and Development Fellow with CDD Ghana. Dr. Kwapon, welcome to the program. What do you make of all that has been happening? It's first broke on Thursday, and it's been developing since.
Yes, good evening. Thank you very much. So, once again, I think every Ghanaian who has read the story and has expressed some concern is within, it's the right thing to do. Right? We've been talking about issues of integrity in public office and all of that. So when you read stories like this that alleges that the integrity of public office or the integrity of the public procurement process was somehow compromised, then it becomes very worrying, and it brings to the forefront again our fight, against corruption in government. Of course, we would have to get to, I know that on the US side, they have dealt with the issue and the individual involved, but I believe that it is also incumbent upon us as part of our fight against corruption and to ensure integrity in government that it is incumbent upon us to also further look into this matter.
Let me bring in Martin Pebu. He's a private legal practitioner joining the conversation. Martin, do I have you? Welcome to the program. Right, we're still working the phone lines to connect with Martin Pebu on this particular subject. I still have John Osai Kwapon with me, CDD Ghana fellow. John, looking at how the EOCO and also the Office of the Special Prosecutor say that they collaborated with U.S. authorities to ensure that all the evidence that were needed were able to come to bear, which led to the pronouncement of his guilt in the U.S. over the weekend. What does that say about our law enforcement agencies?
I mean, for me, it says to me that these are agencies capable of conducting investigations and coming up with evidence needed to support holding persons accountable for allegedly having committed certain crimes. But it also says to me that then for them to have been able to, and even if you look at the OSP statement, then it also says to me that these critical institutions are in possession of at least some information that that can be the basis of triggering our own accountability processes within the in Ghana. At least that's my take on it. That if EOCO and any of our agencies did help in terms of collaborating with the U.S. in pursuing this case against the said gentleman who has been convicted in the U.S., then it tells me that we do have some preliminary information that we can use as the first step towards also triggering our own accountability processes in Ghana.
Let me now bring in Martin Pebo, who is a private legal practitioner. Martin, welcome to the program. So we've been hearing from EOCO, and legally, what evidence do you think EOCO would need to establish that a Ghanaian public official participated in the alleged bribery scheme, particularly where the U.S. conviction was against Asante Berko?
So, number one, the open and shut method would be for Asante Berko to give the names of these persons that the money was paid to. Yes, that would be the a very strong way of proving it. Okay. Then apart from that, you see in the indictment, they mentioned that they have emails that Asante Berko sent to certain persons. So I can imagine that EOCO and OSP, they will ask for those emails. So they will see the names of those persons that Asante Berko sent the emails to. And then from that place, they'll be able to take it further. So these are two great sources. And once Asante Berko is spoken to the U.S. authorities, then imagine that hopefully he's going to cooperate with Ghanaian authorities because he's a dual citizen. He's a citizen of Ghana as well. And under Article 41 of our Constitution, he has a duty to help combat corruption, waste of public funds, and all those things, right? So hopefully this should do.
Right. We've been hearing from former Power Minister Kwabena Donkor through his lawyers, and he says that he never met Berko, never demanded or received any money, and never authorized anyone to act in his name. So if investigators in this country find that someone demanded money while invoking the name of a minister, does that automatically implicate the minister?
No, unless the minister is aware, unless he sent the person to go and collect. And so it's all about the evidence. It's all about the evidence, the quality of the evidence. So let's see, as the days unfold, let's say if the person who collected the money is maybe, let's say, a personal assistant to the minister or a relation or a very close friend, then, as I say, follow the money. Hopefully it will lead to the eventual place. But if okay, can I continue? So it's all about the quality of the evidence. Yes, these things, hardly would you find that the minister would want to collect that money straight away from the person paying. No, it will be foolish. These things, some of the politicians themselves, they say it. They say it. Oh, I can mention one that you can Google. A former president said, but Akufo-Addo is stealing through his relations, etc., friends and family. That's what one former president was talking about, how Akufo-Addo would make money. You can Google it and see. So it's a way of doing it that you would hardly get the minister.
Hello, Martin. Do I have you?
Himself collecting the money directly. That would be right. So, but yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I'm saying that they don't pay directly. You would hardly get the minister to receive directly. It has to be through a friend, a relation, etc. So let's see what the emails and what Asante Berko will tell the Ghanaian authorities.
Martin, don't go yet. Collins Adumako Mensah is also joining the conversation. He's the deputy ranking member of the Energy Committee. He's also a former deputy energy minister as well. Collins, welcome to the program. You've been in a similar position before, having been a deputy energy minister. Now there are calls for the cancellation of our deal with AKSA, which was renewed. I'll pick your thought on that. But before that, though, I want to pick your thought briefly on what you make of all of that has been unfolding.
Well, good evening, my brother. And let me first put it in perspective. I joined the government 6 months to the end of our administration. So I was in government from June of 2024 to 2020. December 2024. I think it's important to put that in perspective. Answering this with regards to your earlier session that I was in government, I thought I should just put this in perspective. First of all, the minority is yet to meet. This news broke just over the weekend, and the minority is yet to meet to firm up our position as a minority. But obviously, the news shook me, and I was a little bit surprised. I had heard of the process in court, but of course, any devastating news on an international platform like that should be worrying to any Ghanaian. So my initial reaction was that I was worried, and I'm sure any well-meaning Ghanaian should be worried that our name on the international stage has been broadcasted in such a manner. And so my initial comment is that I was worried about it. I've subsequently seen the release from EOCO.
Right.
In the OSP's release, it tells me that there was some collaboration between the US and the Ghanaian counterparts. That should give us some information going forward. I'm sure as the issues unfold, we may be given more details as to exactly what has happened. I've also seen the release from the former minister, Mr. Kwabena Donkor's lawyers, denying categorically his involvement in all these processes. And as Martin Pego said, as time goes on, more details will be made public. And at that point, I'm sure we can make more fruitful discussions.
Right. There are calls by a section of Ghanaians, including CSOs, that contract with AKSA should be cancelled because it probably may have been awarded through corruption. Do you agree with them that contract should be cancelled?
I'm not surprised they are asking for the cancellation because the report from the courts are facts, as I know them, and I believe to be so, because these are processes in courts, and I believe that the issues that have come out are facts. On the basis of that, I'm not surprised that the CSOs are requesting for a cancellation of the contract. I am not in a position at this particular point in time to agree or disagree with them because I'm not seized with all the details. And as I said, the minority is yet to meet to firm up our position on this matter. But I'm not surprised that the CSOs are asking for a cancellation of the contract.
Don't go yet. Let me bring in Katie Hammond. He's the lawyer for Kwabena Donkor. Mr. Hammond, welcome to the program. Your client accepts that he was the relevant power minister, and that his ministry negotiated with AKSA. But what exactly was his role in the transaction, and what decisions did he personally make?
Some of these questions tend to be quite nebulous. I mean, he was the minister, a relevant minister at the time, so he would have superintended over all the activities that took place to make sure that the agreement was in a shape to be transmitted to Parliament and for ratification. So he doesn't deny that he was involved with it.
And your statement that you released also says that Dr. Donkor has never met Asante Berko. Are you saying that there was no communication whatsoever between them, directly or indirectly, during the AKSA negotiation?
Repeating whatever I am saying on the instructions of what you are reading. Yes, he says he's never met him. He never dealt with him.
Right. Dr. Donkor, through the statement that you released, also says that he never demanded or received money. Is that also to say that he had no knowledge whatsoever of any alleged payments or demands that were supposedly made in his name by people connected to the transaction?
I take it that you can read. You can read. I mean, this interpretation and asking me, does it also mean what? It is there in clear terms, crystal clear. What he told me is what you are reading. When he said, does it also mean that he hasn't this, he hasn't that? What is that supposed to be? Read what is there.
Right. Has your client, I have read what is there, by the way. Has your client seen or been briefed on the specific evidence allegedly linking a senior government official at that time to the scheme? And what's his response?
No. His understanding is what you have there. Something has come up in the American file. Somebody's been convicted. And on the bits and pieces that have been transmitted in the country, there's all this in making the round that the senior minister, senior government official would have been the minister at the time, responsible for power at the time. He accepts that he was a minister at the time. And it's very clear. He didn't meet this man, therefore he never negotiated with him, he never made any demand. It's all there. It's like categorical denials. A, B, C, D, E. You can read them. It's there. He made the point. If anybody goes on the frolic of their own and makes some scandalous and criminal demands on his behalf, he did not try that. Those individuals would have done it for their own benefit, and he cannot be held responsible for that.
Right. And I will once again refer to the statement that was issued in your name. That statement refers to...
Well, I signed it. I issued it, on his instructions.
Right. Right. And that statement refers to a technical team traveling to Istanbul to inspect the equipment. Do we know who authorized that, who participated, and what role did then minister play?
Let me explain. I have been at the ministry before, you recall. So these things are not strange. We're going to bring in a whole equipment which is going to generate power to the extent that is indicated. I think 370 or so megawatts for the country. Now, you expect that they bring to the country not a second-hand material, but the equipment you are bargaining for. So the procedure would always be to get the technical people to go on site and inspect and to be sure about the sanctity and integrity of the equipment you are receiving. That is why the individuals would have had to go on that journey. And it's clear, it's stated that it is people from the various stakeholders of the electricity industry in Ghana, which certainly would have included ECG and would have included, actually, let's start with the VRA. They actually are responsible for generation. They wouldn't necessarily have to be there. You bring some plant and they look at it and they say there was anti-racist or what we're looking for, and they can't do the job. Then what do we do? So as a standard practice, engineers and technicians are sent out there to investigate the quality of the plant that is going to come to the country and to produce electricity for us.
While as Minister of Power, did it ever come to the attention of your client that there were people who were taking bribes in this deal?
Oh, come on, let's be serious. Could you answer another serious person? Don't be flippant about this matter. So we're dealing with serious matters. Please.
Mr. Katie Hammond, this is also a serious matter. This is a serious question that I'm asking you.
No, what do you mean by did it come to his attention that people were taking bribes? What do you take him for? Can you concentrate on the document that you have in front of you?
Right, we've been hearing statements from EOCO and also the special prosecutor who say that they assisted with the U.S. authorities, which led to the eventual finding of guilty of the former TOR MD. Have your client been contacted by EOCO or OSP in connection to this?
I'm not so instructed.
Say again?
I'm not so instructed.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much for your time this evening.
You're very welcome.
He is the lawyer for the former Power Minister Kwabena Donkor. There, repeating the statements that he released, denying categorically his client's involvement in any corrupt deal which led to the deal that brought the AKSA energy deal to this country. I still have Martin Pebu on the line with me. I also have Collins Adumako on the line. John Osai Kwapon is also on the line with me. Martin, let me come to you. Do you think that evidence from the U.S. proceedings, which include testimony, financial records, and communications, should be used in the Ghanaian prosecution?
Oh, yes. Because once they relate to the same subject matter, right? If we had a law that expressly prohibits, right, then that's when you cannot use them, or the U.S. equivalent. And that one, usually, those things that you cannot use, they come up in the criminal case. And number two, it's when you want to take on Bequeen again. So in simple terms, we would be able to use that evidence here. Remember, there are tape recordings. apart from the emails, there are tape recordings, the emails, and then what Bekwin himself or Berko would come and tell Ghanaian authorities. So we should be able to use the same. Yeah.
Right. And John Osai Kwapon, this is to you. How important do you think it is for EOCO to trace the alleged bribe money rather than focus only on whether a particular official personally received cash?
So I can't speak to the legal nature of some of these things, but I think at the end of the day, from a governance perspective, right, where you really are talking about the integrity of public institutions and public processes and public officials, then for me it is very important that you don't necessarily zone in on a single person, right? But I mean, try and find, comprehensively who was compromised. And when I say who, not a single individual, but all persons or all institutions who were part of this allegedly were compromised or not. Because that, for me, is the way you address the integrity issues in our public institutions.
Well, there are many CSOs who are calling for the AKSA contract to be cancelled altogether. Do you share in their view?
Well, I mean, the other thing you also have to keep in mind, though, is the cost of cancelling such a contract. Yes, if you can prove that it is tainted, wasn't won fairly, it violated some rules, I'm sure there are remedies to that, and perhaps that remedy could include cancellation of the contract. But these are things that I'm sure you would have to proceed by looking at all the legal implications in terms of, the consequences of abrogating a contract. But yes, I can see why there is that call if really the entire process was tainted.
Collins, we've heard from EOCO, as I mentioned earlier, and also the OSP. EOCO really is taking keen interest in this particular issue. How should they approach it, the investigations in Ghana?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I'm not a lawyer. All I want to see is that the name of Ghana is not tainted on the international circles as is being done now. And so any processes that will help clear the name of Ghana is welcomed. I'm not too sure if I'm in a position to direct EOCO as to how they should conduct their business. All I think should be done is that anything that is done should be done fairly. Anybody who will be called to assist in the investigation should be done through the right channels and through the legal processes. That is what is important. But as to how they are supposed to do it, I'm not too sure I can dictate that to EOCO. I just want Ghana's name to be cleared. Some very important governance institutions were mentioned. Parliament was mentioned. I'm a member of Parliament, and so obviously I should be worried with some of the things that I'm reading. And I think EOCO's investigation, of course, will give a platform to all the institutions and people mentioned to have their day and to clear their names.
Collins Atomako, thank you very much for your time this evening. He's a former Deputy Minister for Energy and also a Deputy Ranking Member on the Energy Committee in Parliament. We also heard from John Osai Kwapon. He's a Democracy and Development Fellow with CDD Ghana. Martin Kpebu is a private legal practitioner. Katie Hammond is the lawyer for Kwabena Donkor, the former Minister of Power. It's time for News 9. Gemma has the headlines. Gemma.
Coming up, Ghana Association of University Administrators strike cripples public universities nationwide, with some campuses postponing exams and critical IT procurement and works systems.
The IT systems are down, the finance directorate is not working. In some of the universities that they have started exams have been postponed. Directorate of Finance is not working, so no payment is going on. Works directorate is not working, procurement is not working.
Gold Board says it cannot account for all the gold it purchased last year, even as more than 3 million ounces of small-scale gold were reportedly produced during the same period.
There is no component that we can trace because since Ghana started mining gold and trading gold, no government has pursued a traceability system.
But the ranking member of the Lands and Natural Resources Committee fires back, insisting that Gold Board did purchase that gold.
The guarantors are selling their gold under the guise of small-scale miners to Gold Board, period, through the few selected aggregators or whatever name is given to them.
A growing number of young girls are missing school and facing health risks as the cost of sanitary pads continues to rise across the country.
Yeah, me yes can find pad no. It's no fee. Then I use the toiletry and mango. I don't come to school about 1 month's time or 2 weeks. Then I use the toiletry.
We'll bring you more in a special hotline documentary, Menstrual Poverty, as residents in one small community in the Jumako Enyan Esiem district of the Central Region are taking matters into their own hands to change the narrative and keep girls in school.
When an animal yasu in question there, Opiala, even with Oba, Oyinsen, Alco school, Uncle school, Ponehe, age in name there, on your proper there, Oyinsen, you behold our parents, you know, seriously.
In business,
Star Oil increases price of some petroleum products again, giving credence to possible switch to daily price reviews by some oil marketing companies in the country.
And later, what started as pomp and pageantry at the Muzama Festival in Gomwa Takwa ended in shock as Queen Mother fell from a palanquin during the celebrations. On your say, you share your views with us either through comments or send us a short voice note on our WhatsApp number 055 1111 997 and tag us on all social media handles. The Ghana Association of University Administrators has resumed its strike, crippling operations at public universities nationwide. Exams have been postponed on some campuses, salaries and payments have been halted, and critical IT, procurement and works systems have been shut down. The association blames failed negotiations with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and what it calls a unilateral change to payment date of a negotiated allowance by the Ministry of Finance. The national president of the association, Reverend Kwaku Berko, told Joy News that the impact has already been felt across all public universities.
First and foremost, all the administrative and professional staff are home. So the IT systems are down, the finance directorate is not working. In some of the universities that they have started exams have been postponed. Directorate of Finance is not working, so no payment is going on. Works Directorate is not working, procurement is not working. So work in actually life on campus, in terms of administrative life on campus, have come to a halt. And students are, those who are revising are doing their revisions. Those who are still left teaching is going on, but administrative work, the work that makes the university move, is halted as we speak now.
You had the national president of the association, Reverend Kwaku Berko. Let's go to the phone line and speak with our correspondent in the Ashanti region, Emmanuel Bright Kwaku, who has been following the story there. Emmanuel, how is the situation on KNUST campus? How is it impacting activities?
All right, Gemma. So on the KNUST campus, in fact, because the strike was declared today, for the offices, some of the offices were closed, especially in the administrative offices of the KNUST campus. And when we monitored events there, some of the officers around, most of them who are ideally should be at post, were not there. But in terms of the impact on generally the campus, you would say that because today was the official declaration that was made, it hasn't really had an impact on the campus as of now. But we expect that in the coming days, especially even tomorrow, administrative duties, especially at the IT departments, even the libraries and other departments of the KNUST campus, we expect that this strike or industrial action won't bite hard. But as of now, as of our monitoring at the KNUST campus, it was quite not so much intense as we monitored events there.
Emmanuel Bright Kweku, thank you so much. Let's go over to the phone line and speak to Reverend Amwa Kweku Kakari, National President of the Ghana Association of University Administrators. Welcome to News Night. What prompted the strike by members of your association? Reverend, kindly unmute for me.
All right. Hello.
Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Kindly go on with the answer to my question.
Yes. So the Ghana Association of University Administrators have laid down our tools because of an unfair treatment that we have experienced from Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, JTEC, and the Labour Commission. And the first of the issues has to do with the lack of condor and discrimination in negotiations. We started a negotiation with Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. When we informed them of our conditions of service that we presented, they told us government, and for that matter, the president has told Labour that government doesn't have money. So there will be a modest adjustment to two issues on our pay slips. We negotiated that, ended the negotiations with the intention that implementation of the agreed negotiated allowances will begin in first. Up to today, we only had a letter in July indicating that it will start from 1st July, which is against or contrary to what we agreed on. Again, we didn't negotiate on market premium. We negotiated on two allowances, that is market premium and non-basic allowance, which according to them was going to form another line on our payroll or pay slip. Unfortunately, when the letter came from Ministry of Finance, it has replaced our market premium, which is contrary to what we agreed on. Again, in the implementation, our colleagues on other universities that are paid by Controller and Accountant General departments, the payment was made to only those in the registrar's office, leaving the professional staff.
Hello, Reverend Amwa.
Professional staff, the agreed Dutch Commission. This is the 26th day. We have not received any response from Labour Commission. We have not received any response from Fair Wages. And we feel it's an unfair treatment.
So for the allowance that you were paid on the 1st of July instead of the 1st of April, did you receive the money?
Fair Wages hasn't dealt with us. They had changed the goal. Come again.
I'm asking whether you received the allowance. You were supposed to be paid on the 1st of April, but you are saying that you were rather paid on the 1st of July. I'm asking whether you've received the allowance for July.
Those are
unfortunately
staff.
Come again with a point. We are struggling. I think the connection is really bad. Reverend Amwa, can you hear me? Let me try one more time. Reverend Amwa, can you hear me? I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Yes, I can also hear you.
You can? Okay. Right. So I'm asking whether your accounts have been credited for July. In terms of the allowances?
No, I have not received anything. I have not received anything in July.
What about the members of your association? Unfortunately, we are struggling to connect with Reverend Amwa Kweku Kakari to really tell us why they have decided to resume the strike. As and when we get a clearer connection to him, we'll bring you that interview. But let's take you to other stories now.
With Galamsey still raging, the big question is, where is Ghana's illegally mined gold ending up? Well, despite Ghana producing about 3.1 million ounces of small-scale gold last year, Gold Board CEO Sami Gyamfi tells Joy News the state cannot trace all small-scale gold from last year, but says efforts are underway to improve traceability. He was speaking on Beyond the Numbers earlier.
What percentage of this 3.1 million ounces of gold that you bought in 2025 that you could trace? Responsibly, you don't mine gold.
There is no component that we can trace because since Ghana started mining gold and trading gold, no government has pursued a traceability system.
So there was no sourcing, there was no traceability?
No, even though we have a responsible sourcing policy that prioritizes traceability, we needed to now develop the policy concept and begin the implementation.
That is Sami Gyamfi there. Let's now hear from the ranking member of the Lands and Natural Resources Committee and MP for Mampong, Kweku Sapon, who fired back accusing Gold Board of continuing to buy gold from illegal miners.
Traceability, he's running away from traceability. Who doesn't know? This thing is all over the place. He can run, but he can't hide on that particular matter. His gold is coming from small-scale miners. Everybody in the space, no. So unless you don't want to be interested. Gold Board is the one buying the gold from the small-scale miners, including the Galamseyers. Let me use the proper term, because sometimes when you use the term small-scale miners, it masks the Galamseyers. The Galamseyers are selling their gold under the guise of small-scale miners to Gold Board, period, through the few selected aggregators or whatever name is given to them.
So that is the Member of Parliament for Mampong and also the ranking member of the Lands and Natural Resources Committee in Parliament, Kweku Sapon. Let's take you back to our earlier story concerning the strike by GAUA. I understand we have the man back on the line, Gemma.
Yes, Ken. Reverend Amwa Kweku Kakari is the National President of the Association. Welcome back again to News 9. We were talking about the allowances that you said that you were supposed to be paid on the 1st of April, but it came on the 1st of July. You were telling me that you haven't received it yet.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, so what I'm saying is that those on Controller and Accountant Generals who are paid by Controller and Accountant General Department were paid. But unfortunately, the official staff, those in the finance directorate, those in audit, those in the works directorate, those in the IT directorate, those in the procurement directorate were excluded from the payment. Meanwhile, the instruction was for all the non-teaching staff members. So apart from the fact that the agreed date of implementation has been varied, the payment too has been varied. Again, we didn't negotiate for market premium. What we were told at Fair Wages was that we were to negotiate for a modest adjustment to two allowances, which will be an additional line item at payslip. But Fair Wages is telling us that it's a new market premium. We know that market premium is not determined by a desk interview. It is determined by work evaluation. That is what happened in the 2012 Single Spine transaction. And for us, we know that our market premium has not been negotiated. So if somebody tells us that we have negotiated for a new market premium, then it is a deception. And for that matter, we are saying that Fair Wages is showing lack of condor and discrimination in negotiation. Again, The implementation date that has been changed is a unilateral change, which is not acceptable in negotiation. So Gawa is saying that we are not happy with what has gone on, and we don't want to accept, or we are not accepting what has gone on. Again, there is an issue with our conditions of service. When we entered into negotiations, we presented the conditions of service to Fair Wages. They told us they are not doing a full cycle negotiation. But what they have written to us tells us that they have done market premium negotiations with other unions, and they have changed the salary structure, the market premium salary structure for others, and they want to impose what we have not negotiated for in terms of market premium on us. And we are saying that we are not happy and we are not accepting that. Again, or in addition to what I have mentioned, there is that issue of promotion to the 5th year, which has been on the deck of JTech, Fair Wages, and BCG Ghana for more than 4 years. We are saying that someone serving as a registrar, when he or she is done with his or her tenure as a registrar, comes back as a deputy registrar, demoted. Someone serving as a director of finance, when the person finishes his work as a director of finance, comes down as a deputy director of finance. This is not fair. If you are 37 years and you are taking the grade of a deputy registrar, deputy finance director, for 23 years you are going to remain a deputy, no promotion, nothing. We are saying that this has to do with people's pension. So we need a 5th year, just as it is done for others. And Fair Wages, and other representatives are not giving an ear to us. And we feel that it is not fair. It cannot be fair to us.
You have quite a number of issues you want Fair Wages and Salaries Commission to address before you call off your strike. But have you engaged the commission and GTech, for instance?
Well, thank you very much for this question. We wrote to Fair Wages. Today is the 26th day when we sent our concerns to Fair Wages and National Labour Commission. We are yet to receive a receipt of an acknowledgement of receipt of what we sent to them. We delivered it in person, but they have not responded, not even an acknowledgement of receipt. When the Fair Wages Chief Executive Officer came to our Congress, we asked him, and the response that he gave us was so flimsy, just like they told us that in the negotiations they are looking at only 2 items. When they were done with us, we realized that they had done 3 or 4 items with other unions. We felt that they are being unfair to us. So we've written to them. But fortunately for us, we have had a call from the Minister of Education to meet with us on Thursday. So we're preparing to meet the Minister on Thursday to share our grievances with him.
So what would make you call off your strike completely?
A complete address of our issues and our grievances.
And that will be put before the Ministry of Education when you meet them on Thursday?
Exactly.
Right. We are grateful for your time. Reverend Kwaku Kakari is the National President of the Ghana Association of University Administrators.
Now, the Health Facilities Regulatory Agency, HEFRA, has closed down a facility operating in Kaswa after discovering it was operating without the right permit. A woman who delivered there claimed she was asked to go home without her baby, a case being handled by the Donkor Divisional Police. This prompted a visit by officials of HEFRA and joinees, where it was discovered that officers in the facility were set up as consulting rooms and labor wards, also serving as a recovery ward. This lady, Erica, told us about how she got there. Unfortunately, we're unable to play that sound for you. And speaking off record with Joy News, the owner of the facility, Sarah Quenu, noted that she had worked as a nurse and after stopping the vacation, decided to begin the service to assist persons who need it in the community after the facility was locked. The head of PR Charitable, ARAM, demanded the right procedure is followed and handed the case to the Odoko police, which is yet to comment on the matter for now.
We got information that there was a facility news, but entering the premise is something she does and everybody around knows, but name that everybody knows and calls her is Mami Ness. So initially we sent people ahead of time to come and find out, and we understand the name that everybody knows and calls her is Mami Ness. So it means that it's something she does and everybody around knows. But entering the premises, nothing over there meets the standards that HEFA requires facilities to meet. Absolutely nothing. Looking at even the labor ward, looking at, nothing. Everything is substandard. And I even wonder why people will subject themselves to such a facility. So the only thing we will do is to lock the place, which we have done. The lady is not around. I'm sure she got wind of the fact that something like this is going to happen. So she's not here. So we've arrested, I think, the nurse who assists her in doing what she does over here. And then the caretaker, who is the man. So we are taking them all to the police station, hoping that she would show up and they will take it out from there. Because we want to know if she's even licensed to practice as a midwife in the first place. Because I don't see how somebody who is licensed to practice as a midwife will run such a facility as a maternity.
Right, you heard there the head of PR at the facility, Charitable ARAM. There, you're still listening to News 9 here on Joy 99.7 FM. Be a part of our show by sending us a WhatsApp on 055 11 11 997. We'll also appreciate if you could send us a voice note, maximum 30 seconds, Gemma.
A growing number of young girls are missing school and facing health risks as the cost of sanitary pads continue to rise across the country. For many girls, menstruation is more than a monthly cycle. It means missed classes, shame, health risks, and for some, dropping out of school entirely. Despite efforts to make sanitary pads affordable, many families still can't keep up. Some girls are forced to use racks, tissue, and paper instead. But in Obonche, the community has set up its own pad bank. It's helping girls stay in class and protecting their futures. Nana Boache Dankwa Yadom reports in our latest documentary, Menstrual Poverty.
Menstrual hygiene remains a significant barrier to girls' education and well-being, particularly in some disadvantaged communities.
Menstruation is a natural biological process, but for millions of girls in Ghana, it is not just about blood. It is about shame, fear, poverty, and missed dreams.
So when you don't get the money to buy the sanitary pads, what do? You
can tear this thing, T-road or paper or rag.
Menstrual poverty becomes a driver of sexual exploitation.
We even have cases of girls who have come dripping and then crying too.
We met Abigail, a teenage girl in her final year of junior high school.
Yeah, me yes can fanto pardon. It's nefie. Nama use toiletry and antumago. Some my yes can fanto said to my sister ya wotiro. Mititene kakra said zero nessa nama using tumago.
Abigail tells how, as a user of rags, she manages to keep them clean.
Yeah, bobo. Ne dia sheho. Ye wiya ni esi.
Let's do business, and George is here with the latest. George.
Well, Kenneth, coming up in business, Star Oil increases price of some petroleum products again, giving credence to possible switch to daily price reviews by some oil marketing companies in the country. The government vows to maintain current stability despite push to spend in some areas to aid growth and employment. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials.
30 years ago, MTN arrived in Ghana and everything changed. Now, to celebrate 30 years, we are giving back big time. The MTN at 30 promo is here. 9 Toyota Land Cruiser Prados to be won. Over 10 million Ghana cedis in rewards, plus so much more. Connect to your everyday hustle on MTN. Make video calls. Browse the internet for business with family and friends. Connect your home to MTN Fiber. Make that money move on Momo and stay ahead because every move counts. Ghana, let's celebrate 30 years of MTN with the MTN at 30 promo. Use more MTN services, build more points, and win big. Dial *530# or visit the My MTN app for more.
Who dey brush? We dey brush them. Who dey brush? We dey brush them. Brush your teeth. Brush your teeth every day and night. Slide the gems and tackle them. Brush the gems away. England gems, we go brush them. Go Asia gems, we go brush them. Panama gems, we go brush them. We go.
Whatever the gems, brush them away with the new Pepsodent, now in limited edition World Cup packs. This advert is FDA approved.
Cast your mind back to 2022. The prices were rising. The stress was high. Every liter of fuel felt like a sacrifice. Do you remember who stepped forward first? When others were comfortable with high prices, Star Oil chose you. We cut our own profits so you could keep your AC on, keep your engines running, and keep your life moving without the heavy burden. We gave you room to breathe when things felt tight. Because of you, our star savers, we became number one. Today, the pumps are a battleground. Others are finally cutting prices because they have to. But Star Oil, we do it because we want to. Don't just chase a price, remember a friendship. We were there for you then, and with new innovations coming your way, we are here for you now. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
Introducing Ghana's leading pay-as-you-copy photocopier leasing company. Lease an A4, A3, heavy-duty or production machine and pay for only the copies made or design your own payment plan. Simple and tietia. That's not all. Incredibly, toners, repairs, maintenance, follow-me printing, centralized tracking all come free of charge. Remember, financial prudence is the name of the game. Folks, forget about the expensive gimmicks and be smart. Join the hundreds of satisfied clients across all the 16 regions and every sector of the economy and save over 60% of your printing costs. Visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. Be prudent and lease a copier. Terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease is a wholly owned Ghanaian company. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
Hello, good afternoon. I am calling from your bank. We are currently experiencing a system downtime, so we need to secure your account. Please, can you confirm your account number and your login details so we can restore access immediately? Yes, your username and password, just to verify.
Beware of fraudsters. Your bank will never ask for your login details, PIN or password over the phone. Shine your eye. Spot the fraud. Stop the fraud. This message is brought to you by the Ghana Association of Banks.
If you spot the fraud, you go fit to stop the fraud. Make you know they lose God.
Eno, you know what our father left us when he died?
Debts?
He left us land, Eno. But Nanayo said the land is his. The court said, come back in 2031.
Hey, that's not an inheritance. That's a curse, brother.
Real Ejapadia doesn't come with disputes. At Deftraco Woodlands, a 592-acre master plan gated city in Dawenya, your inheritance is waiting. Don't leave your children a court case. Leave them Deftraco Woodlands, the Ejapadia they'll be proud of. Visit woodlands.devtracogroup.com. Call or WhatsApp us today on 0208 732 302.
Kofi, I think we need to call them.
DevTraco Woodlands, where your roots run deep.
Every mosquito study run away. Sasso, mi se come tonton preko. Sasso, kum tonton preko. Nani shamne die demonstronko.
This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, Star Oil has increased the price of some petroleum products at the pumps this afternoon. The price of petrol has gone up from 14 Ghana cedis 53 pesos to 14 Ghana cedis 99 pesos. There is more in the following Business Desk report.
This review will, however, not affect the price of diesel and other products sold by oil marketing companies. It is not clear for now what might have influenced this spike. However, persons close to the company have told Joy Business that the adjustments reflect what the company describes as the weighted average cost of the product on the international market. For some, the development has raised some concerns and given credence to reports that some of the oil marketing companies have switched to daily reviewing prices for petroleum products at the pumps. However, there are strong indications that with crude oil prices declining, we could see prices of petroleum products come down from the 16th of this month.
And that is a Business Desk report. Meanwhile, the National Petroleum Authority had earlier explained to Joy Business that it had not sanctioned daily review of prices of petroleum products at the pumps. Abbas Tasunti is Director of Economic Regulations of the National Petroleum Authority.
A BDC will do spot or trigger pricing because they want to have an advantage in pricing. Where, for example, if the flat average for, let's say, this window is $900 for the window, and you go into your supplier and you say that, I want to have a situation where in case the spot price is lower than this average for the window, I want to trigger a certain volume on that so that I can have a lower price, so that I'm more competitive on the market. Nobody would want to do a trigger when the price is rising. So you only trigger to give you an advantage. And therefore, triggering prices and saying that because some of them do trigger price on certain volumes that they've locked in for the window, is making them increase their prices. It's not something that is approved, and we've not approved that. If you look at our pricing guidelines that we've published, it says that we are still guided by the 2-week price, the daily basis. So the NPL, I want to repeat, has not sanctioned the daily pricing regime.
But it's happening. But it is happening.
I've explained the context in which it happens.
Abbas Tatunti is the Director of Economic Regulations and Planning at the National Petroleum Authority, earlier explaining to Joy Business why they haven't sanctioned the daily review in prices of petroleum products at the pumps. The Gold Board has revealed that they had made progress on refining a significant portion of gold bought from small and multinational firms operating in the country. The move is part of efforts to ensure that we cut down the volumes of the precious commodity that is exported in its raw form. Sami Jemfi is Chief Executive of the Ghana Gold Board.
Out of the 70 tons of gold we bought this year, already more than 7.1 metric tons. Out of the 70 tons, about 10% of that, 7.1 metric tons has been refined in Ghana. And the related refining fees, which would have ended up in Dubai and India, now staying in Ghana, supporting the economy, supporting the banks, creating jobs, because all these refineries are operating 24/7 and they are employing Ghanaians. And that gives me joy. And he's supporting us to build another refinery, which is going to be a 600-ton capacity refinery, to achieve his vision of zero export of raw minerals by the year 20. We are almost finalizing an agreement with large-scale mining companies, which is going to ensure that they sell 30% of their output to government in Ghana, not outside Ghana like it happened under the NPP. and the gold will be sold in raw form to be refined in Ghana in cedis at Bank of Ghana rates instead of refining it outside as it's pertained under the MPP. So now we are going to dedicate a refinery here in Ghana that will be refining this large-scale mining gold.
Sami Jemfi is Chief Executive of Gold Board, speaking on the Beyond the Numbers program this afternoon with Isaac Kofi Ejay. Now, Deputy Minister of Finance Thomas Nyakwampe has given the firm assurance that government will maintain the current fiscal discipline in the coming months. Now, this is despite push for government to spend more to aid growth and deal with the current unemployment in the country. Mr. Ampem, however, says that they are committed to keeping the current macroeconomic numbers.
You see, the minister keeps demonstrating, disciplined minister who wants to make sure that this economy improves year after year. But at the end of the first year, people were thinking, oh, well, you've been able to achieve this macro stability and all that in 1 year. What is the probability? What is the possibility that you'll be able to sustain it? We have crossed the first half of the second year, and we have demonstrated, we continue to demonstrate that under the leadership of Dr. Kasil Atoforsen, the finance ministry will continue to manage our finances prudently. We are going to sustain that. If you listen to the message that he delivered, he has given every assurance that it is pointless to achieve stability only to allow it to erode in the next year. And so we are going to sustain this. The 1.5% primary surplus that we have committed to achieve will be achieved. In fact, as at the first half of the year, we have already achieved 0.9% of GDP primary surplus. If we annualize that, it means we are going to get about 1.8% primary surplus. That is overachievement. And so we are even going to pick up the pace and increase expenditure towards the end of it because we do not intend to go beyond the 1.5%.
Deputy Minister of Finance Thomas Nyakwampe. Let's turn our attention to the stock market. And if you are a shareholder of SRC Insurance today, each share was up by 30 pesos to close at 5 Ghana cedis 9 pesos. EcoBank Transnational Incorporated was also up by 6 pesos to close at 1 Ghana cedi 83 pesos. That of Enterprise Group was ever down by a peso to close at 10 Ghana cedis 2 pesos. And that's all for business on Newsnight. Back to you, Gemma and Kenneth.
Thank you very much, George, for business. Let's do other stories. Director General of the Department of Urban Roads, James Odro, says the local roads component of the Swami Interchange Phase 2 project will be fully completed and open to traffic by October 2026. He says the completion of the project will provide alternative routes for motorists and help reduce traffic congestion in the Swami area. Speaking at a stakeholders engagement in Kumasi, the Director General said work on both phases of the Swami Interchange project was progressing steadily.
And let's do some politics this evening because delegates of the New Patriotic Party in the Bantama constituency have elected Kingsley Atta as the new constituency chairman in a keenly contested rerun election held on Saturday, the 8th of August at the Kumasi Cultural Center. Mr. Atta secured victory with a slim margin of 4 votes, defeating his closest contender, Fifi Mensah, in an election supervised by officials of the Electoral Commission and observed by national and regional executives of the MPP. The following report has more.
Addressing delegates after his victory, the newly elected chairman, Kingsley Atta, expressed gratitude to delegates for their confidence reposed in him, despite the significant reduction in the number of votes he received compared to the initial election. In an interview with the media, the outgoing chairman, Fifi Mensah, pledged to sustain his efforts to help the party secure victory in the next general elections despite his defeat.
I am grateful to the party for the opportunity. I kept making a case that the album was flawed, but eventually I wanted peace in Bantama. I am happy. The first election that was run, I lost by a difference of over 500 and something votes. Today, I lost by 4 votes. So it should tell you something. I complained that over 167 people have been wrongfully taken from the album. So I mean, listen, The bottom line is we are finished. I am happy. Bantima has said they should all come together, work behind the new chairman for the greater interest of the party.
Are you going to work with the incumbent MP?
Whatever I have to do in my capacity to help the party come to power, that is what I'll do.
Speaking after the results were declared, Bantima MP Francis Asenso-Bache congratulated the winner and urged all members to unite behind the new executives.
We have come here to elect our new executives, very competent, hard-working people who are going to work with me as a member of parliament, prosecute the MPP agenda of winning the 2028 election and making Dr. Bawumia the next president of our republic. I am confident that we work together and we work very hard, because we believe that when we had the opportunity in government, we work very hard and we're able to put in place very important policies and programs.
More women are choosing cesarean section over vaginal delivery, even as concerns grow over Ghana's maternal mortality rate. 965 women died from pregnancy and childbirth-related complications in 2025, according to the Health Ministry. Deputy Health Minister Dr. Grace Ayensu Donkor says maternal deaths in the first half of 2026 have already surpassed the figure for the same period last year. She also raised concerns about the growing number of elective CS, warning of possible risks in subsequent pregnancies. But despite this, some women say they will still choose CS. We hit the streets to find out why.
Please, I would choose CS because I've gone through it twice, and I think it's safe now. In the modern world today, ladies would want to preserve their natural givings, okay? I can say my natural things are still natural, and my husband is still enjoying me the way it is.
Apart from financial reasons, I would actually choose CS because labor pain is not easy. And then speaking from experience, I was in labor for like 6 to 7 hours of intense labor. So I can actually say that it wasn't easy. I was given the option of, I was actually wheeled into the theater for operation, but the doctor was like, I'm almost due to give birth, so I should just hold on. And then, so we already got the things because personally I wanted the CS actually.
For me, I've experienced CS, and the side effect is quite, I don't know, overwhelming sometimes. So I would like to try both to see which one, because I have done CS before, I have not done the natural birth.
Very interesting comments there. We've also been hearing from consultant histopathologist and forensic pathologist Professor Paul Osei Sampene, who says some maternal deaths may be linked to underlying illnesses that are not detected early during pregnancy.
That, why do you have to give birth to actually cause maybe expansion of your vaginal size and all those, which of course doesn't make any sense anyway. So most of the women also actually have decided that let us go for the easiest way possible, like just removing the baby without any impact on the private parts, excuse me to say that, the vaginal wall. And so that is exactly what is happening. Of course, when you do that, sometimes they are minor tests, and some of these minor tests can cause what they call thrombosis or embolism, and these things can move gradually into the system. So by the time the mother is ready to take the baby home, he gets out of the bed and he collapses and dies. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So all these things are things that we need to actually, factor in. And I'm very glad that the deputy minister, has actually taken up this challenge and want to make sure that things are done properly.
Professor Sampene is also calling for mandatory kidney and liver screening for pregnant women, warning that undetected illnesses could be costing lives.
BP were recorded to be normal during pregnancy. I don't know whether it's by fault or whatever that the nurses do or whatever has done that wrong. The mothers come there and they tell us that in fact you go through the records, the BP were normal, but then during labor, these mothers go into what you call eclampsia, which of course cannot start just like that. It means that something might have gone wrong somewhere, which was not recorded. So some part of the recommendation that I made at the time was that fine, In as much as we trust our nurses, we trust the paramedics, why can't we also, as doctors, take it upon ourselves that when the nurses record some of these values, we also try to do due diligence by checking it. But if we take it, everything line hook and sinker, then we are going to have problems, because these mothers will come at the latter stage of their deliveries. And sometimes will come late. And I think your mother, you understand that some others will believe that, the tradition or custom is that, the mother should stay at home until such time that the baby is just about coming out before they rush them to the hospital. By the time they come there, they are in the state of emergency. There's a distress, fetal distress, and so on and so forth. So we need to go through all these manner of procedures to actually get the baby out.
Right.
And so some of these things should be something that it should be a national policy. It should be a national discourse that will be discussed and find solutions to it. Because it's
you had forensic pathologist Professor Paul Osei Sampini. Let's do sports now. Daniel Cranton is here.
Yeah, more companies have joined on to the 2026 Joy Sports Invitational happening on the 29th of August 2026 at the University of Ghana Stadium. It's a Saturday. Savola Ventures have joined. Virtual Security Africa Limited have also joined. Best Education Services and La Community Bank. They add themselves to Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, 3D Wireless Plus, Access Pension Trust Limited, Heritage Christian University, Tropo Farms Limited, Royal King Estate Limited, All Seal Limited. The 2026 Joy Sports Invitational is proudly sponsored by Minerals Commission, who will be there, Ayuda Latex Phone, who will also be there, Toyota Valex Lease Equip Limited, and Virtual Security Africa. That's all for sports. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Daniel Cranting. History in the making for T.I. Amaswa as the school secures its first ever qualification to the National Science and Maths Quiz. Having made its entry over a decade ago, the school has finally broken through, finishing among the top runners in the Upper West Regional qualifiers to earn a place on the national stage. Michelle Latte has more.
After weeks of fierce contests across the various regions, the curtains have finally come down on the 2026 NSMQ regional qualifiers. In the Upper West region, T.I. Amas made history, earning its debut qualification through one of the region's runner-up slots.
I'm so excited. I don't even know how to express myself. Working for this over a decade is not a joke. It's not a joke. And finally, we have arrived. I can say with all the confidence that yes, currently we have arrived. And we thank God for what He has done for us, coming all the way from Wa to Tamale to make our first qualification is a plus. And we are hoping to go to the national championship to do something magnificent and something extraordinary.
For a school that has waited over a decade for this moment, the qualification marks a major breakthrough and the first appearance on the national stage. St. Francis Xavier Seminary SHS took the final qualification ticket, sending Chumo SHS out of the race for a place at the national tournament.
Are you impressed with today's contest?
Quite, but even though we're not expecting this, but we wish to do better in the nationals.
If you say you weren't expecting this, was it below your expectations or above?
Quite below, because we expected to do better in the speedway section, but it didn't turn out so, but we hope to work on that in the future.
The one-time finalists will now head to the national stage, hoping to make a strong push for the 2026 NSMQ crown. Canton SHS and WA SHS also made the cut as runners-up. The 5 schools will now join other qualifiers from across the country to compete for one crown. Michelle Latte, Joy News, Tamale.
I know my koliwa, I know my koliwa. I know my koliwa, I know my koliwa. I know my koliwa, I know my koliwa.
What are you doing? Dancing?
No, rightly saying, I was nodding my head.
Oh, okay, I see. I thought you were dancing.
We saw you.
87 kg head.
Right. What's up? What are people saying?
Kenneth, there's a lot that people are saying. And maybe we should start from there before we go to possibly the lighter side of the news. But quite a number of people have been sharing their thoughts with us. We like it. Keep it coming through. Nana Akumia Boatin from Ablekuma Central says that the way the youth of this country have been deceived into voting for this incompetent administration, leaving them in a despotic state, is very worrying. The government should wake up and work. This one from Sam Bannerman in the USA says, it's shameful how some Ghana government officials were allegedly involved in the power plant's purchase bribery allegation while the citizenry were suffering from Dumsor crisis. This one from Matilda from Keto says, based upon NDC ruling system of governance, Ghanaians are happy about developmental projects that is going on across the country because His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is really trying to build the Ghana we want together. And this one says that Kenneth, please ask the MPP ranking under them who was buying the gold from the galamseyers. I agreed with the chief to deal with parents who I think she's also commenting on a different story, who children go wayward in society and in our schools. By doing this, every parent or anyone who gives birth or intends to give birth will ensure their children don't become headache to society. This is from Francis in Accra. And this one from Michael Entribo Isiaku says, I have a firm belief this case will go nowhere in Ghana. Will the OSP or the AG be willing to seek reciprocal cooperation from the US to get Berko to give evidence via Zoom? If a trial goes up, well, interesting times ahead. Interesting times indeed. Kenneth, you know what we've got into, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Humpty Dumpty area. You can play the sound first.
Let's listen to the sound.
So yes, Kenneth, what you are hearing are, sounds from traditional drumming, right? A festival somewhere in the central region. But right. Gemma, what men can do?
Please, what are you trying to say? Please,
should I continue for you?
Get to the point.
Please, Kenneth, continue for me.
Men can do better.
Oh, okay.
Coming from the mind.
You know the story of Humpty Dumpty, right? Well, unfortunately, over the weekend, during a very crucial festival in Gomwa, Takwa, the Muzama Festival, there was a beautiful display of culture by all standards. The colors, the palanquin, and yes, talking about palanquin, people do sit in it. This time around, the Queen Mother herself was the one in one of the palanquins, and she Humpty Dumpty, unfortunately. So part of the sound that he had there, people were just going about their day and dancing, and all of a sudden, hey,
she fell, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, that's quite unfortunate.
There was a heavy downfall of the mighty, the high and mighty.
That's sad.
Very sad.
Yeah, why are you laughing?
No, you see,
but you should see them
like this. It's a split second thing that happens. So, do you laugh? Do you console her? Do you help her up?
I don't live in Ghana, so I'm sure I can laugh. But for those in the community, I'm sure it's a taboo.
Yeah.
But
if you laugh, you're in trouble.
Our condolences.
What condolences? Who died? You see, you are teasing the woman. Who died that you were giving condolences?
It wasn't a sight to watch, but I get why it would be funny days after that. But sorry to her, and hopefully, she gets back on her feet. And the Muzama Festival is so happening. So
they have to investigate the fall, right? Because there were people carrying the palanquin.
Is it the AG that's investigating? Is the AG?
We need to send it to the OSP.
Oh yeah, maybe the OSP.
Because somebody might have targeted her and deliberately pushed her. You never know.
We should bring those who are carrying the palanquin.
Exactly. They have to answer questions because they're supposed to be carrying her.
Yeah.
Making sure that she doesn't fall.
I'm surprised. These are 4 strong men.
Yeah.
It should never happen to.
So what men can do? Men cannot do anything.
Oh, okay. We are sorry. Okay. Okay. We are sorry.
Assuming that they are men.
Of course. You saw the video. They were men. Yeah.
I see. Michael Ashale, thank you very much for bringing us your say. That does it for News Night this evening. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi.
My name is Gemma Appiah.
Don't forget to do the two this eevening. Brush your teeth day and